GP, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining me today. You were saying before we turned the cameras on that you've never seen ATOs in the news as much as you have recently. What do you think is driving that, and why is that discussion around ATOs important right now?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. If you look at a lot of the events from, just for example, yesterday, the Secretary of Defense issued a memo reinforcing the need for ATOs, FedRAMP, CMMC, and of course the context was how do we go in and ensure that the software and the services that we are consuming here for our mission partners is safe and secure. And so again, the concept of an ATO, or authority to operate, is that fundamental governance tool that the government has to go in and make sure that the software and services they're getting are good, and compliant, and don't have the foreign influence that we don't want. And what's very interesting is, for years and years and years, the construct of an ATO has existed, but it's been perceived as slow or costly or cumbersome. And so now ATO is in the news from the perspective that everybody understands we need it, but we also need to make changes. So, initiatives like FR20X, DoD SWIFT, the DoD RMF reimagined RFI are all mechanisms to go in and say, look, we have to have an ATO, but we got to do better. It cannot take as long, it can't cost as much. And so that's why I made the joke, ATOs are in the news every day. Yeah. And that's very interesting. I've never seen anything like it before.
The services are taking a crack at it, though. The Army is working some continuous ATO pilots. The Navy's taking a look at this. And DoD OCIO is trying to coordinate it all and make sure that people are not duplicating efforts and so on. But so it seems like there's a lot of momentum for the concept now.
Absolutely, and I think what's driving a lot of these initiatives is it's the concept of a continuous ATO is not new, right? I'm sure you've had people on your show, and you can relate to this concept. We've talked about it for many years, but what makes it different now is this sense of urgency, right? So we're on the cusp of absolutely transforming our missions with AI. Well, we all know the best way to get AI is through cloud. Well, if I need cloud, then I need to make sure it's secure and compliant. So now this construct of an ATO is that critical bottleneck. If it takes so long and it costs so much, then the Army or the Navy or the Air Force can't fulfill its mission. And so therefore, everybody now has this incredible sense of urgency to go in and execute on all of the changes that we've talked about. And it's great to see industry and government and partners like yourselves coming together and bringing this issue to the top.
What, if any, role is the proliferation of automation tools and the computing power necessary to feed them playing in the continuous ATO process?
I think, again, I'm an engineer, and so arguably, I think it's, as we love to say, more than the machine, it's the man behind the machine. Yeah. I think what's really driving the change that we are seeing today is the sense of purpose from the leadership. I don't think it's about the tools and technologies. They have already existed. Yeah. In this great country, we have very smart people, and if you've given them the right incentive, they'll figure out a solution. So I don't think it's that we suddenly have magical tools that we never had before. But I think it's more the sense of purpose and a commitment to go and say, hey, look, we got to do better. We've got to remove some of the unnecessary compliance, hubris that has, maybe not kept pace with the changes. So I think from my perspective, what I see is just a demonstrated commitment from the leadership, absolutely from the top down, for the Secretary of Defense to issue a memo that talks about ATOs. Yeah. That tells you something.
That's right. So is it just that leadership awareness and prioritization that will continue to drive the momentum? Or is there a point where it does shift more to the tools and technology piece of it for the technicians to be able to continue to drive the progress?
You're absolutely right. So of course, without a doubt, the advent of LLM technology and the ability to go in and produce a lot of the documentation and artifacts faster also our ability to go in and make decisions faster by having these aids, especially driven by AI right now, without a question, are a great contributor. And so definitely, the fact that we have this imperative to go in and provide commercial, best-in-breed, secure commercial capability to our mission partners, and also, of course, the evolution of the tools are a huge part of where we are today.
GP, I love talking to you every time we get a chance to do it. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much for having me, as always.